This is Optimal Startup Daily, episode 503, Leaders, in the Case of Employee Layoffs, Break Glass, by Dr. Benjamin Ritter of liveforyourselfconsulting.com. And I'm Dan, and welcome to Optimal Startup Daily, where I read to you every single day from some of the best blogs on entrepreneurship, and I will be telling you all about Dr. Benjamin Ritter right after the post, so stick around for that. But now let's get right to it as we optimize your life. Leaders, in the Case of Employee Layoffs, Break Glass, by Dr. Benjamin Ritter of liveforyourselfconsulting.com. The world is in turmoil, and your organization, just like many others, went through a round of employee layoffs. As a leader, it's your job to start planning for what's next and how to achieve your goals as an organization with the people remaining. In the aftershock of employee reduction, you may feel lucky to just have a job and immediately think that you need to prove your worth by getting your team in gear and performing to its potential. But the most important thing you can do in a state of economic crisis and cuts is to take a real hard look at yourself, how you lead, and your team. Research on employee retention indicates that dissatisfied and disengaged employees are more likely to stay at their jobs if the economic environment is more volatile and there are less opportunities in the marketplace. Other research also indicates that employees that survived cuts experience a decline in job satisfaction, organizational commitment, and job performance. After employee layoffs, it is more than likely that hidden among your team are disengaged employees that now have little choice but to stay with your organization, and employees that are becoming more disengaged while trying to cope with the trauma of losing coworkers and the unknown. If you try to push forward now without focusing on how you lead and employee engagement, you will not only struggle with achieving your organizational goals, but may end up causing another crisis. In order to improve anything, you need to first understand it. That means if you need to improve engagement, you need to examine how you engage with your team and how you lead. Take some time to reflect and answer the following questions. How do you communicate with your team, structured and unstructured? What are the expectations and judgments you have of your employees? And how do those impact work assignments and communication styles? What are the current team dynamics? Where is there conflict, and where does the team struggle and excel? What meaning do you derive from your work, and how is that communicated to your team? And overall, what do you value the most as a leader, and how does that relate to your leadership style? Spend some time reviewing your answers and look for opportunities to improve how you approach leadership. What areas do you feel could use improvement? And most importantly, what action can you take now in order to lead yourself so that you can lead others? Next, you want to take this information to individual employees and learn what each one needs to feel engaged. Have conversations, it's always better to ask than to tell, with each individual to learn how you can support them as their leader. Focus on the following topics. Do your employees understand how you communicate, and how do they prefer to communicate with you? What expectations do your employees have about their work? What type of work have they been struggling with? And where can you provide more support for their work as a leader? Which employees love working with each other? Who are they having a difficult time with? Are there any issues with team dynamics, or are there other ways they'd like to connect with the team? What meaning does each employee derive from their work, and how can you provide more of that through a focus on specific assignments, removal of work, delegation of work, resources, and their environment? And overall, what do they value the most from you as a leader, or what else might help them on a day-to-day basis? The process of a leadership self-assessment and individual meetings with employees may seem overwhelming and the last thing you feel you should be doing in a time of crisis. But as a leader, your role is to literally lead others, and you can't do that if the people in front of you don't want to be led. In case of an organizational emergency and layoffs, reflect on your leadership style and work together with your team to help them feel safe, recognized, and that their work is meaningful. You and your team have survived the initial crash, but it's up to you to figure out how you are going to rebuild together and what each person needs to succeed. Remember, your goal isn't to have employees that stay when they don't have any other options. It's to have them want to stay when they could go anywhere else. You just listened to the post titled, Leaders, in the Case of Employee Layoffs, Break Glass, by Dr. Benjamin Ritter of liveforyourselfconsulting.com. I just learned about an unbelievable hack that I couldn't wait to tell you about. It's a fintech company called Masterworks. They give you access to one of the most exclusive investments in history, blue chip art. Not many people realize that blue chip art prices outpaced the S&P 500 by 164% from 1995 to 2021. But not everyone has millions to buy a Picasso, and that's why Masterworks is amazing. They let regular people like you and me invest in works by legends like Banksy, Basquiat, and Warhol. Here's how it works. Masterworks analyzed millions of data points to find quality paintings. After they go out and buy them, you can purchase shares representing an investment in those artworks on their platform. With over 330,000 users, demand is high, but you can get priority access with my special link. Just head to masterworks.art/OSD. That's masterworks.art/OSD. See important disclosures at masterworks.io/disclosures. And thanks so much to Dr. Ritter for letting us share his work. He is one of the newest authors to join our podcast network. He has his doctorate in organizational leadership and studied how people learn, how leaders are developed, and how to create a curriculum that would encompass both. From there, he created Live for Yourself Consulting, along with some programs you can check out. You can schedule a call right on his site, and he also has a podcast called the Live for Yourself Revolution podcast, highlighting the stories of intrapreneurs and entrepreneurs that are truly living for themselves. And you can find that wherever you get your audio. And come by liveforyourselfconsulting.com for a lot more, and thanks again to Dr. Benjamin. But I think that's going to do it for today. I thank you for being a subscriber to the show and hope you're having a great day. And I'll see you right back here tomorrow, where your optimal life awaits.